Hello there. Welcome back. Thanks for taking a look at my YouTube channel. I'm grateful for the time that you spend here, and hopefully you'll be grateful too. I wanted to give you, whoever's watching out there, an introduction to my 5C's talk, also referred to as helping your haters. So my purpose here in creating this talk, this content, is to provide a relatively systematic way to go through the process of connecting with people, communicating with them, collaborating efficiently, developing confidence, which allows them to continue to choose to remain with us as a patient or a client, or as an employee, or any number of things. I think it's pretty broadly applicable. For now, the content is generally focused on dentistry because that's where I've spent the last 20 plus years of my life. Let's see, 2002 to 2024, so 22 years if you count dental school, I've spent in dentistry, plus a little bit before preparing. So let me share a little bit about what these 5C's are. But first, I want to talk just a little about the title. So the title I've given the talk is Helping Your Haters. So for me and for many dentists out there, and honestly for many of us that are in a healthcare industry of some type, one of the first comments we come across with our patients is, no offense, but I hate being here, or I hate dentists, or I hate doing this. And that's pretty common. And so the type or the title that came to mind for me was Helping Your Haters. So that's where the title came from. Most of our patients really don't want to be here. Unless they're going through some big cosmetic change or doing some Invisalign. It's pretty rare to find a dental patient, for instance, who enjoys coming to the dentist, although we do find some of those. Most of us are just here because we were told to by our mama or our mama's mama. So let's talk about the 5C's in the process of helping our haters. So the first C is connecting, or connection. The primary purpose of the connection, of course, is to develop an authentic, genuine connection of trust with our patients. As we create this connection, we can now begin to work through a collaboration that allows us now to come up with a treatment plan and move forward through that. So connecting authentically, genuinely is really critical. There's a lot to talk about here, and probably, I could spend an hour or two talking about the connection piece of the puzzle. There are different types of connections, different connections that happen during the process of an examination, for instance, during the process of a patient coming into the office and checking in. But ultimately, the connection piece of the puzzle is really, really critical. Once we've got a good, genuine connection, then the next step is communicating very clearly and concisely. Now let me take one step backward and talk about the connection piece. Oftentimes we won't connect well with someone, whether it's a patient or a client or a customer. So it's important that we make every effort that we can to connect in a way that allows us to facilitate good communication. But sometimes that connection doesn't happen, and occasionally, this is very rare, but occasionally the connection will never happen, whether it's at this visit or 6 months down the road or 6 years down the road. And sometimes it's worthwhile considering helping that patient or that customer or client find a different provider or a different place to receive their service or product. But that's very rare. So once we've connected efficiently, or connected genuinely and authentically, the next step is communication. For us in a clinical diagnostic role where we're treatment planning and working through, here's what I see, here's what would happen if we leave it untreated, so here is the treatment I'd recommend. That communication process is really critical, just like the connection process, to helping us grab the information that we need to give to our patients so that they can now make an informed decision. So often, those of us that have been doing this for a while and in a variety of fields, not to say that everyone does this, but so often we go from here's the problem to here's what we need to do about it, as opposed to talking about what's in the middle. What's in the middle of that issue, meaning the consequence and the urgency. Many of us, we're told, hey, you've got a cavity in this tooth, or there's a crack, you need a crown. Okay, why? So part of the communication process that we discuss in this talk is, why do we need that? What's the consequence and what's the urgency? And the purpose is not to be manipulative, but to give individuals information so they can make better decisions, informed decisions. So once the information has been communicated after the genuine and authentic connection, the next step is collaborating to come up with a treatment itinerary. So as we're discussing things, especially in this talk, I like to use different different words than have been used in the past. So we come up with a treatment plan, right? But then there's this thing called a treatment itinerary that I like to refer to. So the itinerary is the sequence of appointments and where they're at and at what time frames. We also, in dentistry, whether it's a misnomer or not, use the word diagnose a lot. So, for instance, when I diagnose a tooth having a cavity, I will prescribe the tooth needing a crown. Now, oftentimes, we'll use the word diagnose kind of incorrectly, in my opinion, whereas we'll say, I diagnose that tooth as needing a crown. Well, technically, that's correct. But what we actually do is prescribe the treatment. So as a dentist, a kind of a tooth physician, I'm prescribing treatment apt for the patient's needs, which helps me then with the prescribed treatment to come up with a treatment itinerary. So we diagnose the problem, we collaborate with the patient to come up with prescribed treatment, which in turn translates to a treatment itinerary. So we will oftentimes see many things, right? Many problems, issues, challenges, crowding, gingivitis, periodontal disease, cracks, tooth decay, and we can diagnose all sorts of problems. But what we're prescribing is ultimately what we want the patient to move forward with as far as treatment is concerned. And it's important that we don't manipulate the patient at all. It's really important that we provide good information in a way that allows them now to make informed decisions. So, connection, communication, collaboration. Now, the next two should be happening throughout the process. The entire appointment, the entire experience of the individual, the patient, the client, the customer. And that's confidence and choice. So as we connect, communicate, and collaborate with our patients with confidence, then that allows them to continue to choose to move forward with treatment with us. Because we know that personal and professional fulfillment in a dental practice, for instance, may look slightly different to others out there. But to me, it's a dental practice that's filling with patients, filling meaning constantly growing, filling with patients who are choosing to move forward with prescribed treatment, who are returning, reviewing in a positive way, hopefully, right? And referring their family, friends, and coworkers. So let me go over that one more time. A dental practice that is successful and fulfilling. My goal as a dentist is my dental practice should be actively filling with patients who are moving forward with prescribed treatment, who are reviewing, returning, and referring their family, friends, and coworkers. So that's to me the ideal practice. And this is something that, over the last 20 years of clinical practice, I've kind of adjusted and created a clearer image in my mind. But to me, it all comes down to that. I'll show you my little notes here, if I can pull it up here. That choice piece, the pinnacle of the first four. Choosing, or allowing the patient to choose to move forward with treatment is really the critical key of the whole entire process. So everything that we do allows them and empowers the patient now, the individual, the client, whatever you want to call, in whatever situation this is, empowers the individual to choose to move forward with treatment, prescribed treatment that they understand, that allows them now to return to the office for cleanings and checkups and other additional care. They'll review, providing online reviews hopefully, or positive reviews of their friends, and then they'll refer their family, friends, and coworkers. So it's all about the relationship. Many of us think when we get into dental school or whatever trade or whatever job we're in, that it's all about, like for me, the teeth, right? But really it's all about the people. Dentistry is a people business. And the better we can connect with our people, the better we can communicate and collaborate and instill confidence from them into our abilities. It allows them to choose to move forward with treatment. So that's in a nutshell, that's the 5C's, the help your haters talk. I've been through the content quite a few times, added, subtracted, adjusted. It's pretty versatile. There's a lot of ability for me, coupled with an individual or organization or group, to create some really unique takes on certain specific parts of that. For instance, if you've got a law firm that's working on communicating the process with an individual client, There are a lot of things that we can do to assist in preparing that patient or client or our customer to understand the process more fully so that they're more willing to choose to move forward, for instance. Anyway, this is a pretty versatile talk. It's got a lot of great information, and for me, as I mentioned in many other videos and talks and discussions out there, I find it very fulfilling to be able to share these concepts and ideas that I've worked on over the last 20 years or so with other people. It invigorates me. It helps me to feel really positive about the influence I'm able to make. I really enjoy it. So I'm hoping that this provides an opportunity for you to get a little peek at what the 5C's, the Helping Your Haters talk, is all about, as well as to give you a window into my mind about what drives me to share this information. Thank you. Again, if you're interested in additional content, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks.